If I'm being pretty honest, I actually didn't think this movie would be that good. Welcome back, guys. I watched this movie called Super Dark Times, and honestly, it's kind of random that I watched it because I had no idea this movie existed and almost went into this not knowing anything about it besides that somewhere online I saw someone saying that it had some comparisons to Donnie Darko and Stranger Things, and just with that and along with the weird title name, it literally like sucked me in and I was like, all right, I'm in it. Let's watch this movie. But this movie is basically about a group of friends that are hanging out in the early 90s. You can tell these guys are in high school. They're like a group of friends. Mainly two of them, they're like best friends, and then the other two are like kind of like just hanging out with them. But they do like teenager things, you know, they go out, hang out, they ride their bikes, they're like going to places they're not supposed to. And they come across this sword from one of their friends' brother who's like a Marine or something like that. And they try to go out there and have some fun. And then one thing leads to another, and it turns into this altercation between two of the boys. And well, one of them ends up getting stabbed and dies. And when that happens, they decide to hide the body and leave it there because they had no clue what to do. And now this movie turns into like a murder mystery kind of thriller, but it's so much more than that. So let me first say that Kevin Phillips, the director of this movie, did an amazing job at capturing the time setting of this film, because to me it felt very real. We learned so many things about the kids in the very beginning. Also, the way that the tone for this film is set is amazingly done in the first scene because it's super dark and it's so unexpected, and it leaves you wondering the entire film, you know, why did that happen? But at the same time, it was perfect because it's dark and the entire film itself is just dark, just like the first scene that we see. Another great thing about the film to me was the actors that were playing high schoolers. I think they were very believable and I really enjoyed watching them. Some of them were kind of obnoxious because, well, they are high schoolers, and it kind of reminded me of my high school days. You know, there's always that obnoxious kid, but over time of the movie, it kind of diminishes once the tragedy hits. But I really enjoyed watching Charlie Tahan and Owen Campbell in this movie because I think they did an amazing job portraying these two kids that were best friends. And eventually, as the movie like progresses, you know, shit happens, and you know, they start separating into different like worlds and realms because they see the world differently now. But the biggest thing for me in the movie that I felt more attracted to was how these kids lost their innocence over time in the film after this tragedy happened. Because usually in movies, you know, something happens and it changes the character like in a snap. But in this movie, it takes the entire film to like develop these kids into a different world. Like they're seeing these visions, they're having dream sequences where like they're seeing the dead body like doing things that they don't want to see. And at the same time, you know, they're high schoolers, they're very hormonal, they're horny, so they're like having all these weird thoughts going through their minds and they don't even know how to react to the things that are going around them. And in this movie, there's not a whole lot of parental figures, I would say, except Zach's mom. And it's weird because she kind of plays the same mom as she plays in 13 Reasons Why, which was pretty interesting because it kind of kept the same character in this film. Now, the way that the director plays with the flashback sequences or the dream sequences was really good because it was very subtle, and at the same time, it didn't require an entire like 10-minute scene just to show us a flashback. It usually happened whenever they were talking, like I would be right now, and at the same time they would just like inject like a quick like 5-second snippet of whatever he was talking about. Or even like there were times where like he would be talking about a certain thing, but at the same time in the back of his mind he would be thinking about some other shit. So I really like that. I know some people don't really like flashbacks that much, but I feel like since this one had subtle flashbacks and then they weren't taking up like a whole entire scene, it was really well done and I really enjoyed how they did that. Now, the funny aspects about the movie to me that I found hilarious for some reason is how they were showing us how these kids were acting in the beginning of the film, because I mean they're high schoolers, they're talking about like who they're gonna like do down like the yearbook, and they're trying to watch porn through like the cable TV with through all the static and stuff like that, and that was really hilarious. And just the way that everything is set around this timepiece. I think Clinton was the president too, so it kind of shows us, you know, through visual aids, you know, where in time we are at the moment. And now the ending of the movie itself, this is where it kind of like enters like cliche territory for me, because things speed up super quick towards the end. Like a lot of things escalate super quick, and I don't know if I really like that or not, but it didn't take me away from the movie that much. But at the same time, I did like the way things ended, except that it sped up through the end. But another thing about the movie is that I keep forgetting to mention the girl. The character of Allison to me kind of felt like she was just thrown in there for like the romantic vibe, but at points it didn't feel like that, because I feel like that was more for like Zach to like find out, you know, how he feels about this girl, which we kind of find out early on. But he doesn't really know how to act, since, you know, there's a dead body around and he doesn't know how to like, you know, act around people. And at the same time, like she kind of helps with some of the revelations, so I feel like if she wasn't in the movie, this movie could have gone like a whole different route. But in a way, I feel like she helped a lot in some scenes, and then other scenes I feel like she didn't help as much. But with that said, guys, I really hope you guys get to watch this movie. I hope you guys like share with some of your friends. It was great. It definitely has some flaws to it, but at the same time, I feel like it nails the time set piece and also works great as a thriller, especially with how it works with its revelation revelations, but at the same time, I really found myself enjoying this movie, and I'm definitely gonna be watching this like over and over again. So I'm gonna give this one a 4 out of 5. So if you guys have any other thrillers out there that you've watched, or you know, any like dramatic thrillers or like murder mystery movies that you think I should check out, please leave them down in the comments. I want to know what those are. But guys, if you guys are new to my channel, please make sure to subscribe and hit the little bell button at the bottom. Also, if you guys like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with some of your friends. But as always, guys, stay tuned.